Hello, in this video we are going to solve rational equations algebraically, and we're only going to focus on ratios. This topic will get a little bit harder in difficulty for the following lesson. Our objective is students will be able to solve rational equations algebraically. I want to remind you that a rational equation is an equation that involves at least one rational expression, meaning we have a variable in at least one denominator. Rational equations can have extraneous solutions. And remember that these extraneous solutions are solutions, aka answers, right, that we plug in, and these solutions, they are just excluded values that we do not include, because excluded values, they make the denominator a zero. And remember, we cannot divide by a zero. So here are steps for solving a rational equation. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to utilize what we learned yesterday in class, and that's finding the lowest common denominator. Remember that we need to make sure our a rational equation is factored. We'll find our shared factors. We'll find our remaining factors, and that's our LCD. Once we have our LCD, we'll multiply every term by the LCD to clear the denominators. That's our goal. Get rid of your denominators. Once we have that, we can easily solve the resulting equation. Last but not least, we need to check for extraneous solutions. So the easy way to do this is to right off the bat to note your excluded values. So I can't even maybe put that in as step 0. Identify excluded values. Okay, and then step 5, state your final solution set. So here's our first example. We have 5 over 6 is equal to negative 13 over 12x. So I'm going to go ahead and go with my own advice. Step 0, we're going to identify excluded values. Excluded values. And in this case, our excluded values, looking at our denominator, the 12x, this produces an excluded value of x equals 0. What this means is if our solution is 0, we have to throw it out. Cannot include it. Step 1, we're going to identify our LCD. Now, a lot of people, or students, I should say, you guys struggle with identifying your LCD when it's just numbers like this. And what you want to do is you want to look at your lowest value and say, okay, can I represent 12x as 6? And we definitely can, right? So I'm going to rewrite this as 5 over 6 is equal to negative 13 over 6 times 2x. And I'm going to take one of each, right? So here I have a shared factor, right? That's shared, 6, and then our remaining factors are 2 and x, right? 2 and x. So therefore, our LCD is 6 times 2 times x, which is 12x. No biggie. Okay, so LCD 12x. Remember, the whole reason that we do this is in step 2, so we can go ahead now multiply by the LCD. Okay, so when I do this, when I go ahead and multiply 5, 6, and negative 13 over 12x, when I multiply this by 12x, and when I multiply this by 12x, this cancels with this. On this side, the 6 reduces this 12 to 2, and we can rewrite this problem as 10x is equal to negative 13. Now, you should ask yourself here, did all the denominators disappear? And if the answer is yes, you did your job right. If the answer is no, you picked the wrong LCD. Okay, your LCD has to be big enough to reduce or to completely destroy, annihilate, get rid of get rid of all of your denominators. Okay, the whole goal is to have something nice and pretty like this. 10x equals 13 and negative 13. And here's step 3. Step 3 is to solve, and I'll write this in purple. So over here, I'm going to divide this by 10, divide this by 10, and we get x is equal to negative 1.3. No calculator needed because I'm a smart cookie. So x equals negative 1.3. That's step 4. That's step 3. Step 4 is to check for extraneous solutions. Okay, and you do this by saying, okay, is negative 1.3, does that match any of my excluded values up here? I compare step 0 and step 3, and the answer is no, there are no excluded values. And step 5 will say our final solution is x is equal to negative 1.3. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video on solving rational equations algebraically. That is our step process, kind of our concept and our skill for solving this equation and solving rational equations algebraically. Please give this a thumbs up, subscribe, watch the next video. I'll do one more example like this, and then a couple binomial examples.